Welcome to week 3 of SlamBall. This is our home, beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We are right off the strip on the campus of UNLV inside Cox Pavilion as we get set for the first game of the night. The top 2 teams square off. Undefeated Mob at 8-0, taking on second place Buzzsaw at 6-2. What's up, everybody? Let me introduce you to my squad. Special guest, considered one of the greatest SlamBall players of all time. He's now the current head coach of the Griffins. He's Jelani Janice. We have our betting analyst, sideline reporter, she's Stormy Banatoni, and I'm the voice of SlamBall, John Shriffen. Well, we got to start with you, Jelani. You were a player, now a coach. What do you think of what SlamBall has become?
So far, we've come. I'm just truly happy and blessed to be here. Been around for a long time, started here, started there, now we're here. I think that we've come a long way, and I'm truly happy and excited to be here. A little more gray, a little more weight, but it's still the same sport.
We love having you in the booth. And Stormy, this is a big night, especially on the betting front. For the first time ever, we have live betting lines here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, 21 years to the day of that first national broadcast, and we have live money wagering, spread and money line bets available for every game from now through the playoffs at Circa Sportsbook here in Nevada. Just like there was that demand for the sport to come back, there's demand for people to get action on it too.
All right, this is week 3. If you're just joining us, welcome to the party. Let's get you caught up on how we play SlamBall. There's 4 ways to score. 3 points for a slam dunk, 2 points for anything else inside the tramps, 3 points for a shot outside the tramps on the gold part of the hardwood. Outside of that arc, that's a 4-point shot. In the open court, once you put the ball on the floor, that's when someone can hit you. You better watch out. Now, if you're fouled, we don't shoot free throws. Instead, we have what's called a face-off. The player who got fouled faces off against the player who fouled him. No matter the result, the person who had the ball keeps possession after the shot. In terms of goaltending, if you're a defender, you can legally goaltend the shot from inside the tramps. If it's outside the tramps on the hardwood, you have to wait for it to hit the rim. Then the defender can bat it off the rim. It's only fitting we start with the best team in the league, 8-0, the Mob. Jelani, what makes the Mob so good?
It's their ball movement, player movement, and their backside lobs. They tend to get wherever they want, anytime they want to, and it's very difficult to stop them.
Can anyone beat this team at 8-0 undefeated?
I think they're beatable. Typically, I think Saturday it may happen.
Oh, maybe the Griffs are squaring off against them. Offensive player of the week in week 2, Cam Hollins. This guy just goes after the rim, over 50% on rim attacks, 34 3-point slams so far on the season. Will the Buzzsaw hand them their first loss of the season? The Buzzsaw, Jelani, come in tonight at 6-2.
Yes, Buzzsaw are very tough. They're tough-witted. They hit, they get up and down, and they have an incredible stopper back there cleaning it up for them.
What do the Buzzsaw need to do to knock off the Mob?
I think they have to stop their cutting. Mob send everyone to the rim at different times, and they need to establish control right away to stop those cutters from getting where they want to go.
For the Buzzsaw, you see they can cut from the wing. They come at you from all angles. The Buzzsaw, second place here in SlamBall. They are led by their stopper. Now, the stopper is the guy who plays underneath the basket. He's the primary defender. And Taekwon Scott has almost 9 stops per game.
9 stops per game is impressive. What's even more impressive is the amount of bothers, how many shots he bothers and how many times he gets a deflection. Even more impressive. Incredible back there.
We are getting set for our opening throwdown. Starting lineup presented by Old Trapper, Justin Holloway, Darius Clark, Cam Horton, Gage Smith, your starters for the Mob. And their head coach, one of the original coaches in SlamBall, Brendan Kirsch. He said it's important to dress the part, looking like the Mob out here, black on black, looking great. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Buzzsaw, presented by Old Trapper, Drell Howard, Terrell Barnes Jr., Ralph Bellamy, and Taekwon Scott. He is their stopper. Scott, he is 6'7", 245 pounds. Their head coach, Hernando Planels.
You got 4
minutes. He is
minutes.
one of the also original coaches of SlamBall. As his team in second place. Here, the Mob off the opening throwdown. They get opening possession. Holloway, once you leave the tramps, you've got to reset by throwing the ball off the wall. Now we have an early violation when 2 offensive players are in the tramp at the same time. That's called 2 in the tramp. It's a turnover. Buzzsaw in the gray. They get the ball first possession. Terrell Howard goes into the scoring zone, leaving the tramps there. He resets off the wall. Guys are cutting from every angle for the Buzzsaw. 20-second shot clock on each possession. It's now down to 3.
Good defense by the Mob. great defensive possession.
Justin Holloway coming from the wing, throws it up for his cutter, off the mark. Coming the other way is Terrell Howard. Jamal Barnes Jr. denied! Gage Smith. He's been one of the best stoppers in the game so far this season.
He has impeccable timing. He can flat out get there whenever he needs to.
Now this is the island. You can stay there for no longer than 3 seconds, kind of like in the paint on a basketball court. 3 seconds on the shot clock for the Mob. Looking for our first bucket of the game. Off the mark, shot clock violation. The Buzzsaw defensively have come out strong.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job on that stop in as well. So they're looking good so far.
Is this kind of like a feeling out part for like two heavyweights in a boxing fight?
That's exactly what it is. Whoever's going to throw the first punch, the other person's going to prepare for it the next time.
And guys, these are two teams that know each other extremely well. They practiced with each other all through camp. And then they've basically been practicing against each other up until this past week when Hernando Planels Jr. said, no, you know, I got to work up some schemes. I can't be doing that without it. And we got our first points on the board. Let's go.
That's Cameron Hollins get the three-point dunk, so the Mob take a 3-0 lead here in this first quarter. We play 5-minute running clock quarters. It only stops for a face-off, and in the fourth quarter, each team will get a timeout to stop the clock. Coming. Cutting is Bellamy off the mark.
Another great defensive stop by Gage back there.
Morton now from the wing, settles on that island, and the cutter's clock. He's denied. There's the stopper, Taekwon Scott, we talked about.
Yeah, Taekwon can do that all day long.
Leaving the island, there's that reset off the wall. Now, because the ball's on the floor, you can hit him. Open court, but Howard just outruns the defender. Coming from the top, Tramp, and it's off the mark. Mob with a 3-point lead. Morton looking for his cutter, throws it up to himself, and Cam Hollins. Now that was only a 2 because he didn't put his hand on the rim.
Definitely, but it was still a great pass and it was a great finish.
Buzzsaw off the mark. It's the Mob now with a 5-0 lead. Clark didn't find him on the cut. Horton now resets underneath, 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Taekwon is doing a great job of killing their bounce as they jump into the scoring bed down there.
Now, killing the bounce, explain, what does that mean?
So killing the bounce is having your feet hit the bed at the same time so that there's no recoil for the offensive player to gain an advantage to get in the air.
There's Taekwon Scott affecting that last shot. Coming the other way is Raymond Taylor. And there's the first bucket of the game for the Buzzsaw. 3-point dunk. Right back at you is Clark. And there's Taekwon Scott again.
There he is again. He's going to be there all day.
Taylor takes off. And Taylor just subbed in. He's got all the points for the Buzzsaw. Horton, the cutter. Taekwon Scott at 6'7". Get out of here.
There goes that man.
Malik Abdul-Haq coming off the bench. We make subs like hockey, and he throws it in off the window. We don't stop play for subs. You can come in and out of the game whenever you want.
Offense and defense are very good when you sub that way. You can always keep a fresh guy in.
Fast coming the other way is Raymond Taylor. Oh! Gage Smith met him at the rim. Stolen away by Taylor, gets the ball back for the Buzzsaw. Under 40 seconds to play here in this first quarter. Pratt has to get off that island so he doesn't stand there for 3 seconds. He'll reset, coming Taylor from the top. Abdul-Haq, he had to adjust the shot, gets his own rebound. Shot clock's winding down. It's at 1. It did not hit the rim, so the Mob get the ball. 14 seconds to play here in this first quarter. Jelani, Mob get one more shot.
This is a frenetic pace that they're moving at right now. They're going to settle for one last shot. Probably shoot it from the wood if they can, or get a one-tramp lob, or they got a backside.
Or do just like that. Brandon Simpson with the dunk. And the Mob end this first quarter with a 1-point lead. But it's key to note, Jelani, the Buzzsaw, they're right in this game right now.
They very much are. It is a close game. They're doing what they need to do.
The Buzzsaw off the bench, Raymond Taylor getting them back in this game. After 1, it's the Mob with a 1-point lead.
Love the aspect of just blocking a dunk, you know, because everyone wants to be the guy making the highlights. I like to end the highlights. As a stopper, your job is to pretty much protect the rim by any cost. So every play I'm laying my body on the line, you know, guys are coming in flying full speed, and I just, you know, I'm just jumping straight in the air hoping to block them, you know what I'm saying? So every play is like you're risking your body, you know. Stopper is not for the weak.
Definitely not for the weak, because here coming Malik Abdul-Haq with the dunk, and we do have a Buzzsaw player down. That is unfortunate. It is Devontae Pratt, the 6'1" handler out of Toledo, Ohio. And he's going to be helped back to his feet after the Buzzsaw take a 2-point lead.
Yeah.
Jelani, you're a former player, now a coach with the Griffs. What does it take to be a good slam ball player?
It takes a little bit of grit. You got to be a little bit crazy as well. You got to have some decent skills in football, but be very physical as well. Take some basketball skill as well. You have to be able to dribble the ball and get where you need to go. But it's one of those things where you've got to combine all those things together in order to be a successful player.
All right, so that's Devontae Pratt. We saw him come down awkwardly. What does it take to navigate these tramps? Because these are Olympic-grade tramps. These things fly you 20 feet in the air.
Yeah, it's very important that you come down, either crash or kill your bounce, or you land on your feet with both feet together. You should not land with one foot in the tramp on your own. It may cause an ankle injury. A high ankle sprain is what's pretty common in here, but we teach you all the safety things. We'll get you squared away.
Yeah, 2 feet, it's even better to land on your back sometimes.
Sometimes it's even better to just bail, land on your back or your side or your arms.
When you had these guys in camp, how long did it take them to get comfortable on the tramps?
Typically, it takes about a month till you feel completely comfortable, and even then, there's a learning curve there.
All right, back to live action here in the second quarter, and a dunk for Justin Holloway. No, they wave it off. It is called a popcorn. So a popcorn is when one player kills the bounce of another player entering the tramp. That is illegal. So what we're going to have is a face-off instead of the bucket. So Gage Smith will go one-on-one with Malik Abdul-Haq. Stopper against a gunner. Here comes Smith. Here's the face-off. Ooh, came down hard. But he still has enough to celebrate.
The key is to go fast on those face-offs. If you go quickly, it's virtually impossible to stop anyone.
Cameron Horton told us that Gage Smith is like Clark Kent in day-to-day life. You know, he's pretty unassuming, really, really nice guy, but he is Superman out here on the floor, and we've seen it already tonight.
He's flat out tough.
So the Mob retake the lead up by 1, and remember, after a face-off, you keep possession of the ball. Here comes Brandon Simpson. Will settle on that line. We're looking for a cutter from the wing. Rejected by Taekwon Scott. How good has he been?
He's been phenomenal.
There's a weak side lob. Abdul-Haq couldn't handle it. Quickly the other way coming is the Mob. Simpson gets the stopper off the wood, jumping in the bottom tramp, throwing it up. And it just does roll in for Cameron Hollins. That's a 2-pointer.
Mob are up into him defensively. This is what you need to do to the Buzzsaw to stop him.
Abdul-Haq cutting from the wing in the slam zone, throws it down on Smith's head. At some point, everyone's pretty much going to get dunked on, right?
Most definitely. You can't have an ego out here at all. You're going to create a highlight, or you're going to be a highlight.
That is why I like that thought process, though, from Taekwon Scott earlier, where he said, I want to stop the highlight. I like that mentality.
Absolutely.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Buzzsaw, throw it up and in. Terrell Howard, the handler, gets the lay-in. Back the other way. Simpson missed the jam. Buzzsaw have the rock up by 2. Here's Jamal Barnes Jr. His dad played in slam ball. He's second generation. And a violation is called, so we're going to have a face-off. The stopper, Gage Smith, drifted, so he's only allowed to go straight up. He came into the offensive player, so that's why the foul is called. Jamal Barnes Jr. going one-on-one against Gage Smith. First face-off of the night for the Buzzsaw. Here's Barnes Jr. And Smith already, he had 5 stops in that first quarter, and he continues to rack them up.
it's just a 2-point game here, John, as we see another look here at the stop from Gage Smith. But the Mob, we know, are undefeated. They're the best team in slam ball right now. They came into today a 12.5-point favorite. They've won every single game this slam ball season by at least 13 points. That number was bet up from 12.5 to 13.5. So I feel like the odds makers did a really good job despite having a relatively small sample size for the sport.
And that 12.5, it means the Mob have to win. If you take that minus 12.5, they have to win by 13 points or more.
Correct. And I mean, you look at the scoring differential for this team. They've won by an average of 27.4 points per game. They have the best differential, plus 219 points this season. The next best is the Buzzsaw, and it's just plus 32.
Here's Simpson in the bottom tramp. That is stuck with 2 hands by Scott.
So tough back there.
Shot clock continues to run. It's down to 5. Shot up in the tramp off the mark. Simpson with the putback slam. 3 points for the Mob.
They will always run 2 or 3 guys at you. It's very important that you stop the backside lob. Put a body on that guy.
And for a team that's not used to trailing, they don't let you have that lead for long, do they?
They sure do. They sure don't.
Trying to take it away in the backcourt. Howard keeps the handle, enters the top tramp, looking for a cutter. Bellamy Jr. couldn't handle it. Smith on the ground, and a violation. Ball turned over to the Mob. Clock continues to run. Under 2 minutes to play here in this first quarter. I apologize. The ball stays here with the Buzzsaw. It was a violation against the Mob. Howard gets the stopper to jump. Rejected with his offhand by Smith. Breakout for the Mob. Simpson hit the alley-oop.
The stopper has to honor the ball that's coming at him. The weak side person is running the lane. If they hit the outside trap, it's pretty much over with at that point.
A 2-point lead for the Mob. Bellamy. Resets underneath to Howard. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Turnover. Here comes Cam Horton. Horton's got a trailer to his left into the zone, but threw it away to Scott.
Why are we doing shit that we never do?
Simpson gets it right back for the Mob. Here comes Horton. Can he redeem himself? Under a minute to play here in this first half. Simpson takes on the stopper, and Scott will win that battle.
Drift out of the box, out of the box. Yeah.
So the stopper was ruled out of the box.
2 points, Mob.
And because that's the second violation of this quarter, the Mob are in the bonus, so they automatically get 2 points and will keep the ball.
He was out of the box.
30 seconds to play here in this first half. What's the key for the Buzzsaw to keep it close?
You have to get a stop here to go feel good about yourself going into the half.
Taekwon Scott forces the Mob to think about it and reset. Off the window, no good. Scott affected that shot. 10 seconds to play here in this half. Here's Taylor, has some time. 5 on the clock. Coming, Barnes Jr., and he gets it off the window. And that's how this first half will end. It's been the battle of the stoppers. Gage Smith for the Mob has 6 stops. Taekwon Scott of the Buzzsaw has 7. But after the first half of play, the Mob soaring through. They've got a 4-point lead. We are at the half here in Vegas. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, we'll have the Redwoods and Chaos right here on ABC and ESPN Plus, followed by the Water Dogs and Cannons. That one is only on ESPN Plus. Premier Lacrosse League coming at you on Sunday. Welcome back. We are at the half here in Las Vegas between the Mob and the Buzzsaw. Mob with a 4-point lead alongside Griffin's head coach, Jelani Janice, Stormy Bonatoni. I'm John Triffin. The Buzzsaw staying in this game with defense, Jelani.
They're doing a phenomenal job of getting the stops. They're hanging around. Let's see what they can do in the second half.
And here's the #1 team in slam ball, the Mob. They've got their stopper, Gage Smith. He's also been effective.
You know, Gage is a monster back there. He blocks everything and he gets the LBR at the same time, and he's deadly on offense as well.
Is that what you feel has been the biggest difference, the LBRs today?
I think it is, because you get more LBRs, you get more possessions, you get more cracks at it offensively.
We take a look at our first half stats presented by Circa Resort and Casino. The Mob with a 4-point lead. When you look at the stats, are there any numbers that stand out for you at the half?
It's the LBRs. The LBRs stand out. They have 4 more possessions than the Buzzsaw. So 4 more possessions translate to 12 points, even 16 with the 4-pointers. They're down 4 points.
There you go.
Big difference in the game.
LBR, loose ball recovery. The Mob, they get on the floor. They go after it when there's a loose rock out there.
That's a hustle stat. I love that.
We start each half with a throwdown to see who gets possession. What's the strategy on the throwdown?
The throwdown is, the strategy is hit the person in front of you and have someone come over the top, just like that, and get the ball. Just like that.
Mob work it to perfection. The finger roll goes for Darius Clark. So a quick start out of the half for the Mob. That was a 2-pointer stripped away from Howard, and the Mob get an early turnover. Now here's the hockey element. Because there's boards, the ball is always in play. Off the mark is Horton, couldn't get that alley-oop. He will settle on that island, wait for a cutter. Clark, a back-to-back finger rolls, and the Mob, they're finding different ways to score.
Yeah, those 2 points are just as good as those 3-point dunks. Just as good.
If you're the Buzzsaw, what would be your speech? What's the second half adjustment?
Second half adjustment is don't watch the ball. You have to watch your man and face guard him, stay in front of him, keep him from cutting behind you.
We got a guy jumping across the side. Didn't impede.
5 on the shot clock for the Mob. Coming through off the mark is Clark.
If he ends up in the front when everybody's clear, we're not going to call that.
Surveys the scene, finds Howard. Throws it up. Barnes Jr., get out of here. Gage Smith, another stop. Horton leaves the tramp, so he has to reset off the wall. Cutter is Holloway. Big stop with Scott. Nothing doing. You know, we haven't seen a lot of hits out here tonight.
These guys are real fast. They're fast, they're quick, they're agile. They're not really putting the ball down a whole lot. They're moving the ball with the pass as opposed to the dribble.
Coach, have you noticed that a little bit of a theme in this iteration of the league a little bit? Because we're seeing all the highlight dunks night in and night out. I want some more hits, though. I want some more physicality.
I do, too. That was my game, so that's definitely what I want to see.
That was Ralph Bellamy with the 3, and the alley-oop to Darius Clark as the Mob have opened up an 8-point lead here in this third quarter.
Push up!
And they missed Darius Clark, by the way. He only got 1/2 a slam ball in last week. Had to exit that first game with a pretty painful bruised sternum. As another block there from Gage Smith. Missed 3 games since, and despite missing time, guys, still ranks 4th in the league with 30 dunks. So that says something.
Here he comes from the wing. Off the mark. Both of these stoppers, they make you think. They make you pause midair, and throwing it in is Darius Clark. What's the key to attack a stopper like Gage Smith here for the Mob?
So the key is to see where their bounce is. You have to create the differential. When they're coming down is when you need to go up.
Buzzsaw figured it out there. Adjusting midair is Cam Horton. That's another 3 points for the Mob. Bellamy Jr.
And I felt like that was a good play from Gage even in that moment because he didn't get the block, but quick to get the ball out and move it down the court.
This is, I believe,
Under 2 minutes to play here in this first quarter. Oh, look at Raymond Taylor. Just took that one away. The Buzzsaw get it back.
He's a man out there.
Biggest lead of the game. The Mob right now are up by 10.
Which means we're getting closer to cover territory.
Abdul Haq. And he just wiped out. Shot clock violation. All right, cover territory. Fill everybody in at home because we now have live betting lines for the first time tonight.
Yes, so we know that the Mob are a huge favorite coming in. They opened a 12.5-point favorite. Gage Smith once again doing it on both ends tonight. They opened a 12.5-point favorite, took some money because people know how good they are to a 13.5-point favorite. They're right on that 13 points right now. They need 14 or more to cover that closing bet.
Thanks for filling us in. Stormy Bonatoni, our betting analyst. Shot from the wing off the mark. Taylor. Shot clock resets to 20. Hangs.
Wow.
And Smith still had time to get the block.
That's impressive.
Took a shot to the face.
Let it come, let it come. You got the ball.
Everybody. Here he goes. Here comes Gage Smith. He is
You got the ball. You got
unstoppable.
advantage.
Offensively, defensively, he's doing it all.
Talk about a mid-air collision. This is slam ball. 30 seconds to play here in this third quarter. Taylor. 2 on the shot clock, and the Buzzsaw back-to-back shot clock
Great
violations.
defensive possession
Hey,
there.
hold up.
Typically, if your stopper comes out of the box, you want to attack the substitute stopper or the replacement stopper. Usually it's typically a little easier to score, not against the mob.
Not tonight, not for the mob. 10 seconds to play here in this first quarter.
Telling him to do
Gage
that.
Smith,
You just
he's on
ruined
the
entire
offensive
play.
end.
Oh, my
He's
God.
supposed to
And
jump.
he
One more
lost
time,
the rock.
Brendan. Chill out.
4 seconds
You're
to
right,
play
you're
here in this
right,
quarter.
you're right. Okay,
Malik
okay.
Abdul-Haq takes a
Play
peek
from
at the
there.
clock. A 4-point heave.
We're trying to
And
run a
it's
play
off.
from
I got you. I got you. I got
It
you.
was
I
a
got you.
1-point lead for the mob at halftime, and man, have they opened, excuse me, a 4-point lead for the mob at half, and they have opened it up. Gage Smith putting his fingerprint all over this game. Both ends of the court. Look out below.
Look at me. We're going to slow it down, and we're going to run prime all the way through the shot clock with tramp jumpers and threes at the end of the shot clock. If a dunk is wide open there, go ahead and take it. If it's not, get the ball to the baseline. There'll be another cutter coming through, and let's just get points. Lock down defensively, okay? Are you good? Are you sure? Okay, you're in. You're in. All right, let's go, guys. Let's go. Hey, finish it. Finish it. Let's go. Finish on 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish. Let's go. Are you okay? I need your energy level up.
That was Mob head coach Brendan Kirsch telling his guys, finish it, finish it. I'm in the
Jump
booth
into
here with
his
Jelani
ass.
Janice, former MVP, now the head coach for the Griffins alongside Stormy Bonantoni. I'm John Shriffen. How about the Mob deciding to slow things down now?
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. Hadn't heard that side of coaching before. The idea in slam ball is get as many points as you can, but to slow it down, I like it.
So the Mob trying to do something different to start this night here in week 3. They're in first place, the only undefeated team left in the league. Off the mark, that would have been a big one for the Buzzsaw.
Still very much a game. Still very much a game. A lot of slam ball left.
Here's Cam Hollins. The offensive player of the week last week starts this fourth quarter with a huge slam. On the island, Terrell Howard. Barnes leaves the tramp, resets off the window. Got to look at the shot clock if you're the Buzzsaw. It's down to 4. Throwing it up, Howard has to get it up. That's a 3-pointer off the mark. Another one of those loose balls. It's the Mob picking it up.
Very important there. Very important to finish your defense. That's what we call finish your defense.
So the Mob want to slow it up. If you're the Buzzsaw, how do you speed them up here?
You have to get into them, force them to put the ball down on the floor and try to create a big hit to have that ball squirt out of there.
There they go. They've got the turnover. Buzzsaw coming the other way. They've got numbers. Gage Smith, the defender, and it still goes in for Jamal Barnes Jr. That's 2 points for the Buzzsaw.
We know that the Buzzsaw are a really good defensive team night in and night out, but I think they're having trouble because there's not one guy that you can isolate to try to take away on the Mob offensively. They have 4 guys right now with 9 points or more. It's coming from everywhere.
Absolutely. That would have been a 2-pointer. Here's Abdul-Haq. That was another shot affected by the stopper, Gage Smith. Cam Horton settles on that island off the mark. Buzzsaw get it back. Remember, there's a 4-point shot in play from beyond the arc. You can rack up points quickly here in slam ball. Barnes Jr. resets off the wall. Abdul-Haq mistimed his jump, and a Mob another turnover. Simpson enters the tramp from the wing. Man, they are just crisscrossing from everywhere. The Mob, you don't know which way they're coming at you.
Very savvy play there. Very savvy.
How about that dunk with the left by Hollins? So contact in the tramp is a violation. So a face-off. Cam Horton
You ready?
has
You
it
ready?
for the
You ready?
Mob versus Raymond Taylor for the Buzzsaw. No contest.
Impossible to stop when you go quick. There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do at all.
Here's another look at it.
When you go quick and you jump just after that X and you hit where the springs are the tightest, that will take you to the rim a lot faster and a lot quicker.
Spoken like a former MVP here in SlamBall.
I may know a little bit of something about it.
Howard, Buzzsaw trying to make a game of this one.
They got to go. They got to make a run now.
Batted away. Here come the mob. Simpson, and he couldn't finish the jam. Under 2 minutes to play here in this ball game. Buzzsaw, they need a quick bucket. Abdul Haq throws it up and in. That's good for 2 points.
The Buzzsaw should try to get a little more misdirection to confuse Gage back there if they want to hurry up and score some points.
Simpson says, we're good. We'll just run out this shot clock. Here comes Gage. And you can't account for the extra man, the stopper, getting in on the offensive end. This one is all but over unless the Buzzsaw pull off some kind of miracle. Abdul Haq. Taylor finds Howard, dribbles into the bottom scoring bed, over to Abdul Haq. Under a minute to play, the monster slam for Cam Horton. That looked like the exclamation mark for the mob.
I think it's about over.
And the mob don't give up. That's the backup stopper in there, Cam Hollins, and he still got the stop.
Timeout, mob.
As the mob take a timeout. Jelani, this last bucket for the mob.
We got a towel right here.
How did that look so easy? What did they set up there?
You have to honor the man with the ball. The man with the ball is the most important.
I'm not going to
and the
point
most
any fingers at
pivotal
anything. What I am going to say is this.
On the backside, you have to be able to honor that person that's coming flying at you.
The biggest thing is our
it's very
transition
difficult to
defense.
stop.
We're turning. I got 33 seconds, all right? They're going to draw up the play. I want you to run hole. You're going to be in that middle over there, okay, on the defensive side. Offensively, just get an attack. Listen, every game is a journey for us that we build, we build, we build. You got me? Let's go. Let's finish strong. Let's go. Okay, come on.
I mean, when we have conversations about the OGs, some of the guys who have been here for the longest, Hernando Planell Jr., one of the original coaches in SlamBall, the head coach of the Buzzsaw, he's saying even though we're down and out of this game, 33 seconds, there's still time to build on something.
Yeah, you actually want to work on your stuff. You want to work on late sets, see where you can get a bucket.
So the mob used that timeout to get some subs on the floor. They're going to play a little keep away. Under 30 seconds to play here in this ball game. Holloway enters the tramp from the wing. Cutters coming at both angles. Now a fadeaway jumper, and it is tipped in by Cam Hollins. Good for 2. 10 seconds to play. Crossover. Howard. Throwing it up. Abdul Haq with a 3-pointer. The only thing in doubt is the spread. And the mob win it easy by 23. They cover the first ever live game being bet here in Las Vegas, and the mob cover the spread, getting the win over the Buzzsaw.
What a game, what a game. What a phenomenal, well-oiled machine the mob are.
They had a 4-point lead at the half. It looked like the Buzzsaw had them figured out. What changed in that second half?
Nothing really changed. It's that they've remained relentless in their pressure in attacking the rim. Nothing changed. The Buzzsaw, you can tell fatigue started setting in a little bit, and then that's the difference in the game.
The mob, the only undefeated team left here in SlamBall. With the win, they move to 9-0. The Buzzsaw in second place, they fall to 6-3. Gage Smith, what can you say about his performance tonight?
You can't say enough about him. I mean, he does it on both ends, offensively, defensively, LBRs. There's no weaknesses in that man's game.
He is the player of the game for the mob, and he is standing by with Stormy Bonantoni.
So Gage, it was a little bit of a slow start for your group. How much do you credit that to just the familiarity that the Buzzsaw had with you guys before you kind of got into your groove?
I mean, we practiced together for training camp, so we knew they were going to be one of the top teams with us. We had to come out ready to play. We competed. We wanted to be the 2 teams in the championship, mob winning it, of course. But I knew they were going to come out, throw something different, throw lobs, side lobs, try to trick us up. And Coach Hernandez is super smart, and he did a great job. But Mob came out and handled business, baby, so that's what we wanted to do. So.
Yep. Another big win for you guys, another big personal stat line day for you. You were getting it done on both ends of the court, scoring, loose bound recoveries, stops. How would you best describe your identity as a player?
I don't know. I just really like the sport, so it's I try to do whatever I can to get the dub. So they were double teaming Dak on the side and trying to allow him, so allowed me to get the middle cut. So we just had to adjust mid-game. And, sorry for a deep breath, but yeah, we just adjusted. Coach was telling us he's super smart and everything like that. So we just came out, executed, and did our job. So
good stuff. And one more to go. Thanks, Gage.
Thanks,
Back
Stormy.
to you,
Thank you.
John.
Stormy, good stuff. Well, he may not know how to describe himself, but one look and you look at his busted lip, you know that is one tough dude. Gage Smith gets the win for the Mob here in Game 1. They move on to the main event. Don't go. One more game coming up here before we get to the main event.